Hurricane Nate is about to make landfall. In Eastern Time, Hurricane Nate is going to make landfall in between 8 p.m. and around 12 p.m. Nate is most likely going to make landfall along Mississippi's coast, very close to Biloxi, Mississippi. But the good news is, Nate has finally peaked off in its winds. It turns out Nate did rapidly strengthen. It rapidly strengthened all the way to a Cat 2. But the reason Hurricane Nate reached its peak, it's not because it's battling wind shear. The environment that Nate has only has around 10 knots of wind shear. Very favorable for development. And it's also not because of the ocean water temperatures, because you already know the ocean temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico are perfect for hurricanes. The reason that Nate has reached its peak at a 90-mile-per-hour Category 2 hurricane is because it's moving too fast. As of the latest advisory, Nate is going at 23 miles per hour. That's very fast for a hurricane. That means Nate is not going to take full advantage of the possibility to rapidly strengthen all the way to landfall. But right now, Nate is about 4 hours from landfall. This isn't like Harvey, in which Harvey strengthened all the way to landfall. Nate has now reached his peak about 5 hours before landfall. Nate is an asymmetrical Category 2 hurricane. That just means most convection is on its right side. So you know what that means? Wherever Nate makes landfall along the Mississippi coast, east of that landfall, those coastal places are going to get the worst effects. And those worst effects are from the wind, rain, and the storm surge. If you look at the satellite imagery and even the radar, Nate clearly doesn't have a well-defined eye. This is because Nate is moving way too fast for itself. But because Nate is moving too fast, that means Nate's effects are going to reach further and further inland. So it's going to make landfall and it's going to stay a tropical storm for a pretty long time. That means almost the whole state of Alabama is under a tropical storm warning. Even Atlanta, Georgia is under a tropical storm warning. Really anywhere from New Orleans diagonally all the way to Asheville is going to feel the effects of Nate. So if you live inland in Alabama and northern Georgia and even eastern Tennessee and western North Carolina, don't think you're out of this just because you don't live on the coast. You're still going to get sustained tropical storm winds. And with those sustained tropical storm winds, power outages are going to occur. Probably all the way from New Orleans to Atlanta, Georgia. But with every hurricane, the devastating impacts are going to be along the coast. Just know if you're inland, you're still going to see some sustained tropical storm winds. The worst of the storm surge is going to be along Mississippi's coast. That's because Nate is going to make landfall there. And the storm surge forecast is 7 to 11 feet. That's 7 to 11 feet of water above normal dry land. That's why mandatory evacuations are in place in Louisiana and in some parts of Mississippi. You don't mess with storm surge. The storm surge forecast for Alabama's coastline is 6 to 9 feet. And anywhere from Pensacola, Florida to Panama City, Florida, the forecast is 2 to 6 feet of storm surge. The major threat from Nate is going to be the storm surge. The low-end Category 2 winds isn't going to do devastating damage like Harvey and Irma, but you are going to have to worry about storm surge. And you know what's not going to help with the storm surge? 5 to 8 inches of rain. And that's the forecast right now along the coast in Mississippi and Alabama and Pensacola, Florida. But the possible 5 inches of rainfall reach all the way into northern Georgia. Because remember, Nate's moving really fast. So that means Nate's going to affect a lot of places before it dies out. So for the people in Birmingham and Montgomery, you're not only going to get sustained tropical storm winds, but you're also going to get 5 inches of rainfall. Nate is going to affect people hundreds of miles inland. All the way to northern Georgia is going to feel sustained tropical storm winds. Kind of like Irma. Expect Nate to make a landfall in between 8 p.m. and 12 p.m. along the Mississippi coastline in Eastern Time, of course. The major threat from Nate is going to be the almost 11 feet storm surge. The low and Category 2 winds isn't going to be that bad, but the storm surge along the coast, that's going to cause some devastating damage. As of right now, anywhere diagonally from New Orleans to Asheville, Tennessee might endure power outages. Nate's going to travel far inland. It's not just going to travel far inland, it's going to do that fast. And that means it could affect more places than just along the coast. I truly hope for the best to anyone in Nate's path. Hopefully, this is the last Atlantic hurricane to make landfall in the US this year. Hopefully. Subscribe right here to stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.